So I wake up. Now, that one was miserable. I'd have another 20 knee surgeries to give the one back surgery back. So I'm hanging upside down. So the doctor comes in. I'm in recovery, right? And my hands have completely gone numb. Like, I cannot feel my left hand at all, or my right hand, but my left was really bad. So I'm like, hey, doc, you know, what's going on with the hand? Oh, we hang you upside down. Those straps get in your armpits, you know, and they pinch the nerve in there. And it causes your hands to go numb. And so this is like 8 hours, 10 hours after I'm awake, right? I'm completely numb. And I'm like, well, when does that come back? He goes, sometimes it never does. I'm like, nobody told me this. Like, how am I going to play without any feeling in my hands?
How is that the response?
Isn't that incredible?
How is that the response? I feel like you cover that pre-op.
Apparently not.
Like, by the way, you may not be able to feel your hands ever again.
Yeah,
Why do they have to hang you upside down?
Because it opens up the spine so they can work on your
Well, doesn't all the blood rush to your head?
Yeah, that's the point. That's why your hands don't work first.
My head was ginormous. It looked like this red button right here.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Hey, so you would think you would love a tough running game, but here's my knock on being led by a running back. I mean, Adrian Peterson didn't win a playoff game till Brett Favre arrived, because most NFL games, I mean, when you get to the playoffs, it's good teams. They're close. Right. And if I trail by a touchdown and there's 2:15 left and I've got a timeout, running backs are useless. I don't even want him on the field. I want another slot receiver. So when everybody tells me Dallas, they're led by Zeke, I'm like, well, that's great. But the last running back-led team to get to a Super Bowl was Sean Alexander. By the way, Hasselbeck was pretty good. People will say Terrell Davis, but John Elway was pretty good. Right. People do say that one of your Super Bowl teams was one of the running back led them. So I want truth. Did Terrell Davis lead you?
Oh, yeah. Was our offense? Yeah, our offense.
It wasn't Elway.
No, it was our offense. Well, I mean, Elway, you know, here's the deal. Elway walks in the huddle. Regardless of the situation, you can be down by 14. The Duke walks in the huddle, and you're just like, we got him right where we want him. I mean, so from that standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, that way, that quality, that believability, you got to have a guy. You know, you got to have a dude. You got to have a quarterback, right? You've got to. That team was a run-first-based team. That Super Bowl that you're talking about, Terrell Davis was the MVP and missed a quarter with a migraine. If you look at Elway's stats, his stats in that game were terrible. I mean, it was the worst. He was the worst-rated quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl at that time. Now it's been usurped. I think Big Ben did it, and a couple other guys have done it. But yeah, that team was led by the running back. But you're right. You're right in this. I still think that it's valuable running back. I mean, you can't tell me that Todd Gurley doesn't have great value in Los Angeles.
He does have great value.
So there is that part. As far as Zeke is concerned, and Zeke is great, their issue lies more in the destruction of that offensive line, because that's how they were built. You know, Smith at the left tackle position has chronic back issues. Travis Frederick is out sick, you know, with the Guillain-Barré syndrome. Zach Martin had the knee issue in the preseason. Collins at the right tackle is more of a guard. The kid they have playing left guard, Connor Williams, is a rookie who's struggling. So that team was really built on that. They don't have that anymore. They're not dominant up front anymore. They're probably not a top 5 group anymore.
Wow.
So I think that's more of an issue for them right now, because that's the way they were built, and they don't have that right now.
You know, it's what did you make of Earl Thomas flipping the bird to Seattle? It's weird to me because he made $55 million. Washington has no state tax. He was lucky enough to play for a great defensive coach who understood his talent. He had a bunch of good players in front of him. I look at $55 million for 9 years, and I'm like, dude, safeties are being marginalized. They're not as valuable anymore. I don't know. I don't feel like he got like there are players that I understand they're angry. I don't get his anger.
Yeah, I would argue this. I think they're more valuable now than they've ever been.
Safeties?
Yeah, and safeties that can transition both. As a guy, you got to be able to. Ideally, you got to be able to cover guys. You got to be able to cover slot guys. You got to be able to rotate down in the run game. You know, most everybody plays a version of a single high safety. So you're either man free or you're in 3. It's the 2 coverages that most everybody plays until you get in the red zone. You're not afraid of getting beat over the top. But so you got to be able to do 2 different things. But in regards to him, I understand the anger. I understand you're 29. You're the best safety in your game. You want to be the best ever. You want to get a long-term deal. You want to feel that commitment. And I understand the frustration, the anger over the business aspect of it. So I get his anger. I'm not mad at him at all. I think he's accomplished what he needed to accomplish. He came back and played as well as he was the best safety in the game for 4 weeks. That's what he was.
Yeah.
He broke his leg. It's not like he tore his ACL or a patella tendon.
No, he'll play again.
So he'll play again. He'll get the big contract.
Were you ever mad, really furious at a team? Were you ever treated a certain way? You were on several.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Who were you mad at?
Well, I still am mad at the Redskins.
Why?
They told me I couldn't play anymore. They didn't want me. I went back and played 6 more years, went to a Pro Bowl and won 2 Super Bowls. So, up yours, pound sand. I mean, that's how I look at it.
They told you that you couldn't play.
Told me I couldn't play anymore. Fine. Here's the other thing that bothers me about those situations is, and this has happened. This happens to all of us as players, and you hold a grudge, and it's part of what makes you the competitive nature, part of what makes you go. So you're told, hey, you're a warrior, you're great, you do this. I mean, you the way you battle for us, it's awesome. I mean, I was told that for an entire year. I was always playing with a knee that needed to be operated on, an elbow that needed to be operated on, and then I got called up the very next season, week 1 on a Friday by the Skins, and they told me, hey, you're going to take this pay cut, and if you don't, we're going to cut you after the game, that you're going to start on Sunday.
I don't like that.
Happens all the time. Happens to every one of us. Yeah, you didn't play as well last year. Hey, really? No. You kidding me? Right? I didn't play? Yeah, because I couldn't walk Monday through Saturday. You remember that when I couldn't walk? I never practiced.
If you would have done it again, so if you were to play with your knowledge of how the system works, because players, I do think, have an understanding now. They're less naive. The love of the game is important, but I think there's more transparency for all players.
Right.
Players have more of a voice. And, just what the Internet and social media has done, players are more empowered. Everything if you were to play again today, would you be a different guy with a little more chip?
I didn't play for the organization. I played for the guys beside me. I played for the guys in the equipment room. I played for the guys on that football team and on that roster.
You never played for the owner.
For the business part of it, I didn't care. And I tell guys, I give guys advice all the time. I counsel guys all the time about what to do, what's best for your career long term. But I always preface it with, but understand I'm a hypocrite because I never would have done it and I wouldn't do it today. I always look from a leadership standpoint, Colin. Great leaders care more about the people they lead than they care about themselves. You want to win championships? You got to be willing to lay that on the line like that. That's the person that you have to be. And there's very few guys that win championships because very few guys are willing to lead like that. I was one of those guys that believed in that. I believe that every guy within that organization is more important than me, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I don't care if I have to have – I had surgery on a Sunday night and played that Monday night, less than 24 hours later.
I wouldn't recommend that.
It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, but that's who I am.
Finally, that is who you are. What do you make of that Patrick Mahomes guy?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Lordy.
I'm going to have to kill a crow. Can you kill crows? Is that legal?
Yeah.
Nobody
likes crows.
So.
Is there a crow hunting season?
Well, nobody likes crows.
Right.
People like dolphins.
I don't think that crows are endangered.
No. So I'm going to have to kill one, and then I'm going to have to slather it in my green chili and eat that damn thing. Because I was like, come on. I know all the hype, and I know all the excitement. And come on, there's going to be a struggle, right? He is, as advertised, what he did last night was phenomenal, outside the pocket, always looking to push the ball down the field. He was nothing short of amazing against my team too.
He makes throws that coaches tell you. You know how like Steph Curry makes shots,
yeah,
and you're like, whoa, I wouldn't shoot. Oh, nice shot.
Yeah,
he made a couple across his body throws, and you're like, that's not advised. Oh, that was beautiful,
dude. I'm seriously. I watched that game, and there's a couple times as a Bronco. I watched that game that I'm actually like cheering, like, oh my God, that was great. And then I realized, oh wait, that's the guy that plays for Kansas. Like I had to take a shower after the game. Soap up, lather down.
Yeah.
Because I felt guilty about being enamored.
Because you do Denver radio in the mornings.
Yeah.
You can't be rooting for the other guys.
Absolutely not. But he was pretty amazing, and he's been amazing all. I've gone back and watched each of his games, and he has been nothing short of amazing. What's crazy is patience. Because none of us have it, right? Everybody drafts a quarterback and go, hey, we're going to groom the kid, right? And at week 3, he's in. Like, all right, let's go. Hell-bent for election. And here you had a kid that came into a system that had been established for 4 or 5 years, right? Had the tutelage of Alex Smith. And Alex, by all accounts, was absolutely amazing with him, even knowing that he would usurp Alex eventually, right?
I knew it.
And I always felt like that was my responsibility. And I think when you have confidence in what you do, like, I'm going to give you everything I know. I'm going to help you become the best player you're going to be, because I know ultimately you're not better than me, and you'll never be tougher than me, and you'll never out-prepare me. So I'll give you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
But you're not going to take my job. So Alex giving him that background and helping him along, and the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid seeing that, and then having the patience to wait and to let him absorb it all, and
Perfect.
have that offense being there for 4 or 5 years with all the other 10 players knowing it. You talk about perfectly done. Touche to the Chiefs. That's like eating a turd sandwich.
Well, you like barbecue, right?
I do like barbecue.
You have your own sauce and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Gates Barbecue in Kansas City can slather up one of those crows for you.
People in Denver.
I'm sure they would love to have you in Kansas City.
That division's got intense rivalries. Like, it's Kansas City, Oakland.
Can you even go to Kansas City?
Can I? Oh, they love me in Kansas City, I'm sure. Why wouldn't they?
Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Hert on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
So, Marshawn Lynch accounted for 157 yards in the Raiders' win over the Browns.